Welcome to the Cricket Betting Podcast. I'm Ed Hawkins. This is the ultimate betting guide to the SA20. We're brought to you by 7bet.co.uk, a fresh sports betting brand that offers such features as early payout, bet builder, ACCA boost, betting insights, and more. Go to 7bet.co.uk and experience world-class betting for yourself. On this episode of the Cricket Betting Podcast, we give you the old 1-2. Who beats who in the SA20 final? Let's say hi to Paul Krishnamurty. Hello, Paul.
Hi, Ed.
Richard Mann of sportinglife.com is also here, potentially excited by this one. Rich?
I am. A good one, this one.
Good. I think this is a good one, actually. I'm a fan of the SA20. No best bets for this one, but we will be giving you winner and runner-up in the form of best bets, just to let you know that the best bets are returning absolutely massive profits. Paul is busting plus 40. Richard's in the plus as well, with more winners to come at plus 0.29. So we're going to be talking SA20 with power rankings for each team, the best win rates on the tops market for each team. We've got possible 11s for you as well. We've got strengths and weaknesses for each team, and the all-important ground guide from Paul Krishnamurty. Can we marry up strengths of teams in terms of batting and bowling, the strengths or weaknesses with a venue? So keep pens and paper at the ready. We've got loads of angles coming your way. But we're going to start with an outright from our partners at 7bet. We've got, not surprisingly, 8-5 favourites. Mumbai Indians, Cape Town, the champs, 22-5, Sunrise of Eastern Cape next best, who have never not been in a final. Durban Super Giants at the same price at 22-5. 6-1 Pretoria, 6-1 Joburg, 34-5 Pal. And as I said, MI Cape Town, the defending champions, usual playoff system in place, with finishing first or second in the ladder important, but Sunrisers have made each of those three finals, and they did it twice by finishing third. I suspect that trend is not going to continue, but there we go. Rich, as I said at the top of the show, good tournament, or is it the same as many T20 leagues around the world these days, where we've got a handful of good teams and the rest are rubbish? Is it cream rising to the top, or is it wide open?
Well, I think last few years it has been cream rising to the top with Sunrisers, but we've had a big overhaul at the latest draft, so that obviously mixes things up as well. So lots to learn, I think, while you're watching this show, hopefully, or listening. Last year was tougher for going overs on runs, but by crikey, the year before, what a gold mine back in overs. So interested to get Paul's ground guides and just interested to see how it plays out with a brilliant tournament 2 years ago.
All right, Paul Richards set it up for you. It's the all-important ground guide. What are your top lines from some of these venues?
Okay, so I've got four angles here. So first of all, Hull Royals, Bowland Park. This is the standout unders ground, arguably the standout unders ground in the world, actually, particularly with sixes. 75% of matches see 10 or fewer sixes. 69% have 9 or fewer sixes. And in case you're worried it'd be a new pitch, just look at their team selection. It's all slow bowlers. So expect the same, low scores. On the other end of the scale, the overs ground is Centurion, home to Pretoria Capitals. This is 62% of first innings coming at 200 plus, 29% at 220 plus. So on those numbers, 200 should be 8-13 at the start, 220 should be 5-2. And they've gone down because, as Rich said, it wasn't quite as good last year for batting, but it's still a great ground for it. And also for sixes, Centurion ranks top. 43% of matches see 20 or more sixes. Next, on to the second lowest ground, again, a long way behind the others. I think 3 of them are fairly similar, but this is also very much an unders ground, which is Port Elizabeth, St George's, home to Sunrisers Eastern Cape. Only 2 out of 17 matches here saw 14 or more sixes, so very reliable there. Finally, I mentioned Durban. Now, I've got this ranked second for batting. Last year it was a bit down, and I think that's down overhead conditions. Anyone who knows history of Kingsmead Durban knows overhead conditions very important. But still, she's a very small ground, good for scoring, reliable 160 plus, and great for sixes. So if it's clear, 200 plus all day long there.
Right, lovely stuff. Those are your ground guys from Paul Krishnamurty. So SA20 starts Boxing Day. We're going to start going through some of the teams, and we're going to be doing it in reverse price order. So outsiders first and moving forward to the favourites. So it's Par Royals off first. 3-1 to finish bottom with 7-bet. 14-5 for the final. Last two seasons finishing third and fourth. They are ranked number 3 on batting power for the last 2 years. So that's cumulative strike rate. And fourth on bowling economy. Your top bats and top bowler to follow, and we've got some decent study samples for these boys. Miller 20%. That's a good return rate for someone who's going to be going off in advance of 4-1. And Mujib Rahman, the spin bowler, got a 50% win rate on top bowler. So expecting to be playing Mujib wickets at some point during this series. Your possible 11 for this side is R. Herman, Lewin Draper-Torres, Lawrence, Miller, Raza, Carl Verien, Moti, Mujib, Fortune, Bill Joan, and Bartman. Bartman, a great signing from SEC. Aim, as Paul says, to strangle in low-scoring games with spin bowlers. Got 3 in that team. Lawrence may even bowl a bit. I think they won all home games last season. Paul, what do you reckon?
Well, the obvious angle here is to back them for the home games and oppose them away from home, because their ground is set up to suit that barrage of slow bowling, but they haven't got so much away. I do think they're a bit underestimated, to be honest. I wouldn't have them as the outsiders of 7. There's a lot of decent all-rounder type players in there. Moti, Gudakesh Moti, Sikandar Raza, very dangerous level. Carl Verane's a good pickup. And Lewin Draper-Torres was outstanding last year. So I don't really have them as one of the favourites, but they were second last year. I don't think they deserve to be the outsiders at all.
Just a point about Bartman, 28% win rate last 2 years. Probably one to bet away from home for Paul, just because of the dominance of spin bowlers there. Rich, what are your views on these boys?
Well, what I would say is that they had Joe Root last year, and he did a fantastic job for them. I know it seems awkward to say that in T20, but low scoring games, he did marshal that batting well. That would be a concern. Paul's right about low runs, but it was amazing as well how many times between 140 and 150, 3 of the 5 home games last year, it was 150. Well, actually, I think it was more like 141, 142. So in terms of it, I don't know, Paul. In terms of trying to get that 140 line on side, I think you could really strike gold with that. I do remember you giving me a bit of a lesson on this ball over a few beers at the snooker, but 140 is the nugget spot, I think, on this ground. Other interesting things, Moti and Fortune as well, top bat bets. I think there'll be big prices down the order. I don't know if you want to elaborate. Sorry, yeah, go.
So no, you're right. The middling, 140 to 160, right? If you can get that at about 3-1 at the start of the innings, that's a really good starting place, because you won't see many go over 160.
Yeah.
All right, we've got next best. 6-1 Pretoria to win it with 7-bet, 5-2 for a final spot, 16-5 to finish bottom. 5th last season, 5th the previous season. Batting power 4th, bowling economy 6th. They need to do some squad rebuilding. Jax has come back. You can see when he does turn up. Obviously, he's not going to be there for the start of the tournament. 16.6% win rate on top bat. That's your top-rated guy. Lizard Williams on top bowler, winning 50% of the time, but that's only from 8 games. Possible 11. Jax, Will Smeed, Esther Hazen, Brevis, the big money signing, William Noob, Bryce Parsons might have started gone a little bit wrong there in that middle order. Those guys don't have great records. Andre Russell's been brought in, Craig Overton, Keshav Maharaj, Williams, as I mentioned, and Ngidi. There's a big overhaul of this team. Rich, have they got it right?
I quite like them, but I would worry whether the bowling will hold up. I think we'll get runs. I've been really impressed with Jackson in the Ashes, but coming here as well, hopefully he'll have some confidence. But Brevis, what a year he's had. I'm not sure about the batting depth, but I think if Brevis and Jacks just get in together, and Smeed as well, who always scores quickly, I think they could get big runs, this team, in the right conditions. Just need the bowling to hold up. I think they can cause some damage.
Paul, right price or wrong price?
Probably about right, to be honest. Quick question: how many overseas players can you have in a side here?
Pretty sure
Just
it's
struck me.
4. Pretty sure it's 4. It was 4 last time.
So it has just struck me how reliant they are because, okay, so your Will Jacks critical to their chance. Smeed also important. You've also got Shafane Rutherford in this side, in this squad, and Russell. Can they play them all? Overton as well. Like those batsmen just mentioned are ripe to take advantage of this very, very high scoring ground. But I think there are stronger sides than this, to be honest with you. They're either the outsiders for me or second from last.
Great. That's 2 down for the go. A reminder to sign up, please, to our partners, 7Bet. They do make this podcast happen every week. So if you like the cricket betting podcast too, please support us and get signed up with 7Bet. We've got the 0% margin feature over there, designed to offer betting odds that don't include the typical margin added by the bookmaker. Check out more of their features on 7bet.co.uk/features. Another offer as well from 7Bet before the end of this show. Also 6-1 with 7Bet are Joburg Super Kings, 16-5 to finish bottom with the same, 5-2 for the final. 4th and 3rd, last 2 seasons, 2 5s on batting power and bowling economy. So presumably plenty of work to do in terms of squad rebuilding. And they've certainly done some major churn with only 4 players remaining from last term. One of those is Duplessis, 19% win rate on top bat last 2 years. Imran Tahir, 21%. The original members of that Dad's Army are still there. They could line up something like this. So Faf opening the battle with Brandon King, James Vince, Riley Rousseau, Liam Mulder, Donovan Ferreira, Sabrayan, Akil Hussain, Dan Worrell, Andre Berger, and Tahir. Paul, I'm not at all fussed by that top order. What about you?
No, I'm not. Faf is surely in decline, slowly, if nothing else. Riley Rousseau's been in decline for a couple of years. But the bigger picture here is the churn. I mean, that's not ideal to have only 4 players from last term there. There are some decent signings out. I mean, Van Mulder, Vince, Subrayan, I think could be quite a weapon in this. Reece Topley also at that ground. But it's a lot of churn, it's a lot of losses, so I can't have them.
Rich, can you have them?
Don't panic, Captain Mannering. couldn't even deliver that right, could I? Not for me. Batting would concern me. In terms of betting, be very interested to see where Mulder bats. I suspect you're right, he'll start at 5, but if the top order struggles, I'd like to see him up higher. I think he's a really classy player. But the bowling, I do think it's got plenty going for it. Worrell will nip the ball about. Berger, excellent with a new ball. I think in the right conditions, I could bowl teams out cheaply in terms of betting runs, going short on there. They've got 3 very good spinners, actually. Look out for Berger when he comes up against left-handers. We did a thing on a podcast a few weeks ago. I made some good money on the VIP channel. Berger up against the lefties with a new ball. He's got a terrific record.
I bet we bet Akil Hussain at some point as well at massive numbers on the VIP. So that's Joe Bird done. 3 down, 3 to go. Remember, we named the winner of the SA20 and the team that they beat in the final at the end of this show. So stick around. Don't forget to sub up to that VIP Telegram channel. where Paul, Rich, and myself will provide the best bets every day to your phone or device via Telegram. It's in plays every televised game. We're up on ROI. We're up on profit. It's ILT20 Big Bash. We'll be adding SAT20 in there. The fourth Ashes Test podcast is also out for your ears. So give that one a listen. Loads happening at the moment in cricket. It never ever stops. And let's continue with Durban's Super Giants, 22-5 with 7-bet to win it, which is basically 9-2. 9-4 for the final, 4 to finish bottom, 6th, and then a runners up spot. Batting power, they rank number 2, and they are 3rd on bowling economy. So they've got a good base to work with. They've signed Josh Butler, who wins 44% of the time last 2 years. Noor Ahmed wins 40% of the time top bowler last 2 years. Terrific hit rates. Would like Noor Ahmed to turn up pretty quickly from ILT20, please. They're possible 11. Butler, Markram, the new signing, Dizorzi, Klaassen, Beddingham, Wietse, Similane, Nareen, Kutzer, Noor, and Maphaka. I quite like this lot, Rich.
Yeah, I'm very, very keen, actually. I think the batting looks superb. Butler's still the boss, isn't he? We've seen it recently in the 100. Markram, brilliant signing. He's been the boss of this competition, if you like. Klaassen's the king finisher. And a nice little mix with Beddingham and Dizorzi as well. We've got guys who might just work it around and get those lads on strike. And high-class spin. One area of weakness, have they got enough quality seam in there? Seam bowling might be an issue, but overall it looks a very good team.
Paul, concur?
Hard agree, totally agree. I think this is really strong. The stars that have left were failing, right? So there's massive improvement. You look at that 11 you've just picked there. That's a team of internationals. That's the South Africa team, plus arguably the best T20 batsman in the world in Josh Butler, plus arguably the most valuable T20 bowler in the world, Noor Ahmed, plus Sunil Narine, right? That's a hell of a team. Really good. To me, they're the standout value in this competition at 22-5 with 7-bet.
Can I just
go on, Rich?
Yeah, well, we've talked about Josh Butler's player performance a lot, but I thought in this team it was even more interesting because assuming he's going to keep, with those spinners, I mean, stumpings are in the game all the time, aren't they? So, I mean, he not only could he bust the line, he could seriously bust the line in the odd game because I think he's going to be up to the stumps a lot here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do keep listening. We might not name Durban as the winner. You never know, because we've got 2 more teams to do, and it is the SEC, Sunrisers Eastern Cape, same price as Durban, 22-5, 19-10 with 7-bet for another final, 7s with the same to finish bottom, runners up and champions. They've made all 3 finals. Batting power is number 6, and not unusually. In franchise cricket, you build a legacy on bowling economy, and they are number 1 on your last 2 years. Britska comes in with a 20% win rate. I think he might just get the other side of 4-1. Janssen, top bowler, 21%. I don't think you're going to get more than 4s. Possible 11 for you. Jay Herman, waiting for Bairstow to come in from ILT20, so Bairstow may take his place. So De Kock opening the batting with one of those 2. Stubbs, Britska, Van Buren, Janssen, Gregory, or James Coles, perhaps in the all-rounder slot down there. Musa Sami, Sipamla, Gasson Farr, the spin bowler, mystery spin, and Norkia. They've lost Bartman and Markram. Major losses. Churn, major. 5 remain. So are they actually the team that built a legacy? I'll say no. Paul, can we get them beat?
Yes, we can, definitely. It's not the same team. I mean, it's a good side on paper. It could come good. There's a lot of churn. Those 2 losses are huge. And, look, the strongest argument we always use in these competitions is franchise pedigree, right? Does that apply when you've only got 5 of the previous team? I don't think it does. They're contenders, they're capable, they've certainly got good players there, but not for me.
Richard, what about
Yeah,
you? I mean, what
yeah,
about that price to finish bottom, 7-1?
yeah. You know what? That what might be more interesting. Bowling's hugely weakened. Nokia comes in. I'm a big fan, but he's shocking injury record of late as well. Um, so not for me. I mean, Bretzker obviously very consistent. I'll be interested to see his price in the top bat, but I've been more interested in shorting Bairstow's runs game by game. He'll come off once every 4 or 5 games and beat the line. That's fine. It'll be easy. But I think he'll fail more time than he succeeds. You only had to look at his time for Yorkshire last year in the Blast. Barely made a run, made a brilliant 100 on TV in the Roses game, then went back to barely making a run again. So he's one to just consistently short Bairstow.
All right, concur on Bairstow. The champions last season were Mumbai Indians, Cape Town. 8-5 wins 7-bet to win it. 53 to 100 for the final. They're 16-1 to finish bottom, which they've actually done twice out of the 3 seasons. Batting power number 1, bowling economy number 2. Rickleton. Paul's always been a massive fan of Rickleton, way before we had this sort of win rate, by the way. 44% on top bat in this tournament. Rabada 27.7 with the ball. Rabada likely to be cheap on player performance early doors. Rickleton, Van der Dussen, Hendricks, Paran, Kareem Janet or Moores in the engine room. Corbin, Bosch, Pretorius, that's Dwayne Pretorius. Rashid, George Lind, Rabada, Bolt. Oh, it's some team. Durban have got to beat Mumbai. You can't argue with favourite status, Rich.
No, this is just a very good team, isn't it? Yeah, you forget the prices and trying to search for value. These are a team to beat out. The bowling absolutely ridiculous. Rabada, Bolt, Rashid. I mean, just amazing. All I would say, slight negative. Pooh ran in for not a negative, but Pooh ran comes in for Brevis, and look, that should be absolutely fine, shouldn't it? But Brevis was outstanding last year. What did he strike at 184? Nearly 300 runs at a strike rate of 184. Big shoes to fill there. And the issue is if Puran doesn't fire, they've got RVD striking at 129 last year, Hendricks 128. That could catch him out. They do need someone to add the fireworks, but clearly the bowling in particular is very good. Look out for Bolt first wicket in the over. We've covered this loads of times. I won't labour the point, but he's generally very good at that. 365, often price it up. Wicket in the first over, usually 5-6 to 1. Amazing how many times it pays off when Trent Bolt's taking that first over.
Paul, what do you got?
Look, it's all about odds, isn't it? What we do, it's all about numbers. They're definitely the rightful favourites. They were superb last year, but I can take them on at 13-8 because in the end, if they don't finish top two, then they're 5-6 to 1 chances, and that can easily happen. If you really wanted to look for a negative, I suppose you could say that Reza Hendricks wasn't in great form recently. Rashid Khan's probably on the downgrade, but it is a brilliant side. And I mean, that said, Corbin Bosch has really taken a step forward in last year, hasn't he? So they are rightful favourites, but not at those odds for me.
Alrighty. It is, well, it's not best bets time, but it is time to name the winner of the SA20 and the runner-up. Just time to tell you about our 7-bet free offer using the promo code WFB10. As I trailed earlier in the show, you bet £10, get a £10 free bet on your first deposit, minimum £10 stake, £10 free bet, minimum odds, even money, maximum winnings, £100 bonus, T's and C's apply. Do support 7-bet and therefore support the Cricket Betting Podcast because they help this podcast be recorded every single week. So, Paul, can you please name the SAT20 runner-up and who are they going to beat in the final?
I'm going for Durban Super Giants to beat MIK Cape Town in the final.
Okay, Paul's gone for Durban Super Giants beating MI Cape Town in the final. Richard Mann, what have you got?
I'll go the other way around. MI Cape Town to beat Durban Super Giants in the final.
Lovely stuff. This has been the Cricket Betting Podcast in association with 7Bet. As I said earlier in the show, we do have a Ashes 4th Test podcast out as well. So give that one a listen, please. We're going to tell you exactly what happens in the 4th Test. Just time to tell you 7Bet specials on Name the Finalists on those selections which Paul and Richard just gave you. Durban Super Giants versus MI Cape Town, 27-5 with 7Bet. So get signed up to 7Bet, support the podcast, and you may well as well have a winner there on the way when this tournament ends. This has been the ultimate betting guide to the SA20. We will see you next time for the 5th Ashes Test preview.